Dear friend, Lord Buddha once said, "As a lotus flower is born in water, grows in water, and rises out of water to stand above it unsoiled, so I, born in the world, raised in the world, having overcome the world, live unsoiled by the world." This wisdom reminds us that, like the lotus or a pure pearl, we can remain untouched by life's distractions, struggles, and negativity. Welcome to the Motivation Zone at Freedom, where we explore timeless teachings to help you find inner peace and resilience. Today, I'll share a story that speaks directly to anyone facing challenges, both within and around them. It's called The Pearl and the Mud, and it reveals how to stay true to your essence, even when life surrounds you with mud. This story offers a powerful lesson about maintaining inner purity and strength, no matter what comes your way. So, if you're searching for a way to rise above life's distractions and find clarity, stay tuned. Imagine, dear friend, a young monk who feels overwhelmed by the negativity and distractions of the world around him. With a deep desire to stay true to his path, he approaches his wise master and asks, "How can I maintain purity in such a dirty world?" It's a question many of us can relate to, isn't it? We live in a world filled with stress, desires, and distractions, and at times, it's easy to feel pulled away from our core values. The master, known for his simple yet profound insights, looks at the young monk and replies, "A pearl remains a pearl, no matter how much mud surrounds it." This single statement, though brief, holds the essence of a profound Buddhist teaching. It speaks to the heart of purity and resilience, reminding us that just as the pearl stays unaltered by the mud around it, we too can remain connected to our true selves, no matter what we face in life. Let's dive into this story a little deeper. Picture the monk who stands there, questioning how he could keep his mind clear and his spirit pure in a world filled with so much mud. The master doesn't respond with complex teachings or lengthy guidance. Instead, he speaks simply of the pearl, a gem that, no matter how much it's covered or surrounded by mud, never loses luster or its value. The pearl, in this story, represents our pure inner nature, a core that remains untouched by outside influences, whether it's negativity, hardship, or desire. The mud, on the other hand, represents these very challenges we face in our daily lives, the anger, fear, stress, or habits that can cloud our minds and emotions. Let's dive into this story a little deeper. Picture the monk who stands there. By comparing the monk to a pearl, the master is saying that our true nature is like that pearl, bright, unbreakable, and unaffected by the mud surrounding it. This simplicity, the quiet purity of a pearl within mud, paints a vivid picture for us. We can picture ourselves as that pearl, reminding ourselves that no matter what life throws at us, we can remain clear, strong, and true. So, what lesson can we take from this story, dear friend? At the heart of Buddhism is the understanding that our mind, at its core, is inherently pure. Just as the pearl shines with its own natural beauty, our true self, our deepest inner nature, is unchanging and untainted by the challenges we face in life. This concept teaches us that our inner essence is like a clear, calm lake beneath the surface. Even if the water above is disturbed by waves or clouds, the depths remain still and pure. The pearl in this story represents this unchanging part of ourselves, our true mind that is steady, clear, and full of wisdom. No matter what mud life throws at us, be it stress, anger, loss, or fear, this inner self remains untouched. The mud represents the challenges we face and the emotions that arise, but these are all temporary. They may block our vision or weigh us down for a time, but they do not alter who we truly are. We may feel burdened by the mud of difficult emotions, habitual thoughts, or negative circumstances, but these are simply layers that cover our awareness. They don't define us. The Master's message reminds us that these layers of mud are just passing experiences. They may cloud our awareness or make us forget our true nature for a time, but they cannot change it. In moments of meditation or self-reflection, we can reconnect with that pearl, with the unchanging part of ourselves that knows peace and clarity, regardless of life's distractions. Through this practice, we cultivate a calm, resilient mind, one that sees beyond the temporary challenges and rests in the purity of our own inner life.
Now that we understand the lesson of the pearl and the mud, let's reflect on how we can bring this wisdom into our own lives. One of the key Buddhist practices that supports this is detachment through mindfulness. When we are mindful, dear friend, we learn to observe our thoughts, emotions, and surroundings without being overly influenced or affected by them. This means we can recognize negativity, whether it's within ourselves or coming from others, without letting it shape who we are. Through mindfulness, we become like the pearl, observing the mud but not absorbing it, staying grounded in our true nature. Another important quality we can develop, even when surrounded by mud, is compassion. The more we experience life's challenges, the more we learn to empathize with others who may be struggling too. Challenges can be transformed into lessons that make us wiser, more understanding, and kinder. Just as the Buddha taught, suffering is a universal experience, and recognizing this can help us respond to difficulties with patience and care. The mud becomes a teacher, allowing us to grow in wisdom and compassion as we realize that all challenges are temporary, they come and go, but our inner strength remains. Finally, this story reminds us of the value of maintaining inner clarity and staying true to our core values, no matter what life brings. It's easy to lose ourselves in the busyness or drama of everyday life, but returning to our pearl, our inner purity, gives us strength. When we stay connected to our essence, we find that we're more resilient and capable of facing life's obstacles without being overwhelmed. This clarity allows us to act with integrity, compassion, and wisdom, rather than being led by momentary impulses or reactions. By practicing mindfulness and staying true to ourselves, we can navigate the world's mud without ever losing our own light. Now, let's explore how we can bring these teachings into our everyday lives. These ideas may seem abstract, but there are simple, practical ways to make them a part of our daily routine. One powerful way is through mindfulness habits. By developing regular mindfulness practices, like setting aside a few moments each day to observe our breath or thoughts, we become more aware of what influences us from the outside. For example, when you encounter negative news, difficult conversations, or stressful situations, mindfulness allows you to recognize these as external events. You can observe them without allowing them to stick to you, just as a pearl remains untouched by the mud around it. This habit helps build resilience and keeps our mind centered, no matter what's happening around us. Another practical application is compassion in action. Life can be challenging for everyone, and practicing kindness can make a big difference, not just for others, but for ourselves. Whether it's listening patiently to a friend, treating someone with respect even in a difficult moment, or helping a stranger, compassion reminds us of our interconnectedness. When we treat others with kindness and patience, regardless of the circumstances, we're nurturing our own inner clarity. We act from our true nature, just like the pearl, sharing light even when surrounded by mud. Lastly, we come to the power of acceptance without resistance. This means acknowledging uncomfortable emotions like frustration, sadness, or fear without letting them take control. Instead of resisting these feelings, we can remind ourselves that they are temporary and do not define us. They are like mud around the pearl. They might stick to us for a moment, but they can be washed away. Accepting emotions as they are without letting them shape our identity allows us to stay connected to our inner purity. This acceptance keeps us grounded in our true nature, even as we move through life's ups and downs. Incorporating these practices into our lives helps us embody the lesson of the pearl and the mud, showing us how to navigate life's challenges with inner peace, resilience, and compassion. So, dear friend, as we've seen, the story of the pearl and the mud reminds us that no matter how much mud we face in life, whether it's stress, negativity, or hardships, we can stay true to our inner self, like the pearl that remains untouched. Our essence, our true nature, is resilient and pure, no matter what surrounds us. I encourage you to take a moment to reflect on how you can stay connected to this inner sanctity through mindfulness and compassion. How can you bring the practice of mindfulness into your daily life? And how can you treat others and yourself with patience and kindness, even in challenging times? By nurturing these qualities, we strengthen our ability to move through life with clarity and peace. If you found this story meaningful, I invite you to explore more teachings and stories like this, ones that can help build inner peace, resilience, and compassion. Let's continue this journey together to discover the wisdom that guides us back to our true selves. Thank you for watching, and remember, no matter how much mud surrounds you, stay connected to your light within.